Okay, you can send it here whenever you are not coming to the class, right? Then you can send it here. Done. ठीक है. Have you written the answers? ठीक है. Just let me know whenever you want to get it checked. So shall we have a common discussion also of the questions first of all, right? Because what happens, it will otherwise take time, although I will do it. Because as I promised that I'll be checking and taking care of each one of you. So definitely I'll do that. But apart from that, do you want to have a common discussion also? That what you should write, how you should write? Hmm? Do you want that? Do you really feel the need of that? After the checking, okay, no problem. After I check, I'll do that. Okay, yesterday one, I have given only one question to you. एक ही दिया था, एक और दिया होगा ना? Okay, all right. So what we have done yesterday? Indian physical features. I think people will be joining there because they are not online, so they'll be coming and joining. Okay, so we had to discuss about the Trans Himalayas, the Greater Himalayas, and the Middle Himalayas and the Outer Himalayas. That is what we were discussing last time. This is what we left in the end. We left at the syntaxial band that we are having here. Right, the one is here, the other one is here, and then we had discussion of the extent of the Trans Himalayas, Great Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, and the Outer Himalayas. Okay. So first of all, write down a box, make a flow chart like that before this. So you should have a clear understanding. Make a flow chart. Parallel ranges of Himalayas. Parallel ranges of Himalayas. The first in the flow chart is your Trans Himalayas. Then it is your Great Himalayas, Middle Himalayas, and Outer Himalayas. This is what we are having, right? Now first we'll keep on writing about the trans because this question can be asked separately. They tell about the description of the trans. And separately they can ask about the great and the outer. So we need to have the description of each one of them. The first one, write down Trans Himalayas. Write down the heading Trans Himalayas. Write down the heading Trans Himalayas. Write down the first point. Trans Himalayas are the northern part. Trans Himalayas are the northern part of the Great Himalayas. Trans Himalayas are the northern part of the Great Himalayas. Trans Himalayas are the northern part of the Great Himalayas. These ranges have been formed. These ranges have been formed from the sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. sedimentary and metamorphic rocks. Antecedents. Antecedents. Rivers. Antecedent rivers like Satluj, comma, Indus, like Satluj, comma, Indus, Brahmaputra, and and Sanko originates from this region. Originates from this region. Write down for the information after making star mark like this. Write down about antecedent river. This is for the people who have not done the GS course. Antecedent river is a river that was established before the surrounding topography before the surrounding topography began to rise and maintain its original course by cutting through the rising landscape. By cutting through the rising landscape. Okay, see, I have to explain this part to you. Now, when I say these antecedent rivers like Satluj are flowing from here, what do you mean by that? See, I told you about the formation of how the India has happened in the previous time. But before that, there were rivers which were Brahmaputra and Indus, which were flowing from that area. And as I told, that the relief feature of India is a matter of structure, time, and process. That means they were already present. What Satluj, Indus, etc., Brahmaputra were already present. In that case, आपका Himalayas नहीं बना था. If Himalayas etc. were not formed or they were not that much of the height of which we can see it today, what do you understand by that? It means antecedent. It means that they have not changed their courses. अगर आपका ब्रह्मपुत्र इस डायरेक्शन में चल रहा था and then Himalayas have been formed here, because of this topography has come as a barrier between their flow, then they will not act as what? They will not change their course because of some block has come in their path. Are you getting that point? They will cut through these blocks, they will cut through this, and then they will be able to make a path for themselves. They will be able to make the path of them for themselves. This is known as antecedent river. Are you getting the point? What do you understand by antecedent river, Ishan? All the all names in Tanishka, Stapna, Dhruv, Suraj. Okay, so this is what you mean by when you will do the reverse chapter separately, then you will have the understanding of what is antecedent, what is discordant, what is cordant. Pura you will have an understanding. But again, I am repeating for the students who have not got this. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप ऑलरेडी इस पाथ पे चल रहे हैं, कोई भी रिवर इस पाथ पे चल रही है, बट वहां पे कोई पहले फॉर्मेशन नहीं था, क्योंकि these rivers are known from a very long time, they are flowing in the same path, and when the same rivers or maybe this Himalayas have been formed, Himalayas for example बाद में form हुए हैं, then because of this Himalayas formation which have come in their path, this is a flow, this was a flow that they were having, a flow की वजह से this is the flow that they were having, and because of this formation of this Himalayas, they will not change their course. I'm again repeating, they will not. If somebody wants to write, they can write in a simpler manner. They won't change their courses, change their course because of the newly formed topography in the region. Rather, they will cut through the area. This you can write for your own understanding later on. Somebody who have not read the reverse, this is for them. Okay. Now the second point, write down. It is separated in the north. It is separated in the north from Great Himalayas. Is it raining outside? That's why the people have not come. Maybe. Otherwise, they are always there. Like Tanishka has gone to Uttarakhand now. She's back to the place. Acha. Maybe. That's why they have not come. Okay. There's one girl also who has recently joined. Okay. Now write down the second point. It is separated in the north from the Great Himalayas. It is separated in the north from the Great Himalayas by Indus Sangpo zone. By the Indus Sangpo zone. By the Indus Sangpo zone or Kailash mountain range or the Kailash mountain range that are characterized under this Himalayas. Now how they are separated? If I say this is a Trans Himalaya, right? If I say this is a Trans Himalayas, that means how they are separated. Do you know the area of and how the Trans Himalayas are divided? How many parts are they consisting of? They're consisting of three. Trans Himalayas में भी three parts है. कौन से? The first one is your Karakoram, second is your Ladakh, and third is your Jhaskar. Right? अगर आप ट्रांस हिमालयस की बात करें उसमें भी आपके थ्री लेयर्स है. The first layer is your Karakoram range. People who have not read it, इसको बहुत ज़्यादा heavy नहीं लेना आपको. Please understand. This is simply you have to draw the map like this. The first one that we have is the Trans Himalayas. ये जो आपका एरिया है ट्रांस हिमालयस का, इसमें आपके कितने पार्ट्स हैं? You have three parts. The first part is the range, you call it as your Karakoram. This is your Karakoram range. Karakoram range. The second range is your Ladakh range. And the third one is your Jhaskar range. ये थोड़ा नीचे आ गया. Actually it has to be like यहीं तक होना चाहिए. Just because of the explanation ये इस तरह से आ गया है नीचे तक. But it should be till here only. पहले आप बस रेंज देखिए, मैप्स मत देखिए. अभी सिर्फ ट्रांस हिमालयस का जो डिवीजन है आप उसको देखिए. हाउ मेनी पार्ट्स आर डिवाइडेड? काराकोरम, लद्दाख एंड झास्कर. We'll go very slowly. I don't want to rush. Write down Karakoram. इसको थोड़ा ऊपर like by mistake मैंने थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दिया. It has to be like this. I mean you should not be confused. It has to be like this. 1, 2, and then 3. Itna. It has to be like this is your Karakoram. This is your Ladakh and Jharkhand. Done. Ishan, can you understand this? Now write down Karakoram. The Karakoram which is the first layer, जो सबसे top पे है. Prelims के लिए भी याद रखेंगे ये चीजें, which is very important. Can come. Arrange the following. Or which one is coming in what. So आपको ये ध्यान रखना है. You should know the alphabet, the way chronology of this, that how they are arranged. The first is Karakoram. Write down. Karakoram ranges are known as the Karakoram ranges are known as the backbone of the Asia. Karakoram ranges are known as the Karakoram ranges are known as the backbone of the Asia. Karakoram ranges are known as the backbone of Asia. Full stop. Full stop. The highest mountain peak of India, the highest mountain peak of India, write down K2, K2 or Godwin Austen, or Godwin Austen lies lies in this range, lies in this range. Next point. Karakoram ranges meet the Pamir knot. यहाँ पे आपका Pamir knot है at this point, right? Here you have Hindu Kush, etc. This is your Pamir knot. So Karakoram ranges are meeting Pamir knot. Karakoram ranges meet Pamir knot in the west. They meet Pamir knot in the west, whereas it is extended in the south. Whereas it is extended in the southeast. Whereas it is extended in the southeast as Kailash range. See, if I talk about the first range of Trans-Himalayas, which is your Karakoram, it starts from here, right? So northwest में कहाँ पे? Pamir knot, and यहाँ पे आते आते it is extending towards what? Your Kailash range. It is extending towards your Kailash range. In which place? Tibet. This in which place? Tibet. Okay. I hope you are getting this. Now write down full stop. In the south of this range, in the south of this range, comma, Ladakh range acts as a Ladakh range acts as a water divide. It acts as a water divide between Indus, between Indus and its tributary Shyok, and its tributary Shyok. किसकी बात कर रहे हैं हम यहाँ पे? We are talking about what is next point? We are talking about what? Ladakh range. So important prelims point, that Ladakh range acts as a water divide. Water divide between what? Indus and its tributary. What is the tributary? Shyok. किस तरह से आ रही है Shyok की tributary? This was a question in 2022. See, there is a valley called Nubra Valley here. From where the Shyok is coming. From here your Indus is coming. So basically this Shyok is a tributary of your river Indus. अब जब ये यहाँ पे join करती है, then which is acting as a water divide? Your Ladakh. Your Ladakh acts as a वाटर डिवाइड. वाटर डिवाइड का मतलब क्या है? सिंपली डू नॉट गेट इनटू दिस हेवी टर्म्स. वाटर डिवाइड का मतलब है दैट दो आपके रिवर बेसिन्स के बीच में एक लैंड मास, दैट इज सिंपली द वाटर डिवाइड. इसको इस तरह से याद करिए, बिकॉज ये रेंज क्या है? लैंड है, राइट? दिस इज अ लैंड. अब श्योक भी क्या है? ये भी रिवर है, ऑल्दो इट इज अ ट्रिब्यूटरी ऑफ इंडस, बट दैट इज ऑल्सो रिवर. इंडस इज ऑल्सो रिवर. अब दो रिवर ड्रेनेज बेसिन के, दिस इज अ ड्रेनेज बेसिन. श्योक इज ऑल्सो ड्रेनेज. ड्रेनेज मतलब क्या? सिंपली वाटर. वाटर यहाँ पे accumulated here, इंडस का इट इज accumulated here. बीच में क्या है आपका? योर लैंड. व्हाट इज योर लैंड वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट? लद्दाख रेंज. दैट इज योर वाटर डिवाइड. सिंपल. कुछ जितना सिंपल होगा उतना लर्न करेंगे, यू विल बी एबल टू हैव दैट इन अ लॉन्ग टर्म मेमोरी, और आपको फिर समझने में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा. नेक्स्ट राइट डाउन. इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट लिखिए. इंडस रिवर फ्लोज बिटवीन, इंडस रिवर फ्लोज बिटवीन झांसकर, इंडस रिवर फ्लोज बिटवीन झांसकर एंड, इंडस रिवर फ्लोज बिटवीन झांसकर एंड लद्दाख रेंज. झांसकर एंड लद्दाख रेंज. Can I say it is flowing here between Jharkhand and Ladakh range, which is your river I am talking about? It is Indus. Write down. Indus river flows between Jharkhand and Ladakh and forms the deepest gorge. Forms the deepest gorge in India by cutting the Ladakh range. Write down important point. Star mark करके write down. Rakaposhi is one of the, Rakaposhi, Rakaposhi. Rakaposhi is one of the steepest. Rakaposhi is one of the steepest mountain peak located in, mountain peak located in Ladakh ranges. Mountain peak located in Ladakh ranges. Now revise and let me know. चलिए पानी दे रहे हैं. कौन सी शाम? Oh, yeah. This actually switched off from somewhere. I don't know from where. I'm calling the office boy for that. They do have a plug. वहाँ से नहीं. I think so. अबे no, off. AC. हाँ. So just hold on. और पानी दे दो ठंडा उसके अंदर. Okay. Now write down about the Great Himalayas. The second part that you will write is about Great Himalayas. Write down. They are also known as the Inner Himalayas or Himadri. They are also known as Inner Himalayas or Himadri. Full stop. Full stop. This is the highest range of the Himalayas. This is the highest range of the Himalayas. This is the highest range of the Himalayas. Full stop. The average height of this range, the average height of this range is 6,100 meter. The average height of this range is 6,100 meter. Full stop. It contains all the major ranges. It contains all the major ranges. It contains all the major ranges of the Himalayas, and the range varies from and the range varies from and the range varies from 120 kilometer to 120 kilometer to 190 kilometer. 120 kilometer to 190 kilometer. Right. Write down next. G Pawan, no, it's not a marathon class. G Pawan, this is the discussion of paper 1 geography that we have just started. Okay. 190 kilometer. Next point, Great Himalayan Range, also known as Central Axial Range. There is another name that we call Great Himalayas with a name of Central Axial Range. Central Axial Range. Full stop. It extends from gorge of Indus River. We are talking about Great Himalayas. It extends from the gorge of gorge of Indus River and bend of Brahmaputra River in Arunachal Pradesh. And bend of Brahmaputra River in Arunachal Pradesh. See, how is the extent now? Can you see the extent? Kis tarah se hai? That is starting from here. What do you understand by gorge first of all? Somebody who do not know the meaning of gorge, it is the steep valley that has been formed, a V-shaped valley which has been formed, which is very, very deep in the Himalayas. This is one of the key feature of the Himalayas that you will find a deep valleys in the V shape, which is steep also. So one is starting from here, right? Gorge from here, and then the ranges is moving towards the Arunachal Pradesh. So this is the range. When I say range, it means what? The kind of a chain, the kind of a the trail it is being following. For example, this is one of the trail which I am talking about, Great Himalayas. This is what? Your Trans Himalayas, right? Next, write down. Almost all the lofty peaks मैम ये कहना गलत नहीं होगा कि हिमालय ज्यादा हैवी है एज कंपेयर टू माउंट नो यूसुफ यू आर गेटिंग रॉन्ग हियर वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट रेंजेस राइट नाउ Mount Everest is one of the highest peak that the Great Himalayas are having, and not only in the Great Himalayas, around the world, the Mount Everest is one of the highest peak that we have. So it is a part of the Great Himalayas only. Okay. Great Himalayas is a range. Mount Everest is one of the mountain of the Great Himalaya. There is a difference between both of them. Okay. Next, write down. Almost all the lofty peaks of the world, almost all the lofty peaks of the world are located in this range, are located in this range. All the lofty peaks are located in this range. For example, Mount Everest. For example, Mount Everest, comma, Kanchenjunga. Mount Everest, comma, Kanchenjunga. Kanchen Ju Junga. Kanchenjunga, comma, Nanga Parvat Nanga. Nanga Parvat. The next point is Nanda Devi, comma, Kamet, and Namcha Barwa. Namcha Barwa are its important peak. Are its important peak. Now we'll move to middle and lesser Himalayas. Now move to ma'am. Are the heights of these ranges and peaks? Yes, Tanishka. With respect to prelims, they might be, because they won't be asking you straight away the peaks range. But we do not know with respect to the pattern is changing now. They are becoming more of a static. They might ask, but you should have rough idea, not exact idea that this is the peak. This is exactly the number. They won't ask like that. But yes, you should have a rough figure about that how much range they would be lying in. For example, if I talk about Great Himalayas, 6,000 meter is an average height. So this you should definitely do. If I talk about the Shivaliks or the lesser Himalayas, basically the outer Himalayas, then it is 900 to 1100. If I talk about the middle Himalaya, it is 3,000 to 4,500. So range you should do. Okay. Next, write down about middle or lesser Himalayas. Middle or lesser Himalayas. These are also known as Himachal. These are also known as Himachal or Middle Himalayas. These are also known as Himachal or Middle Himalayas. By the main central thrust. By the main central thrust. The average height of this range is 3,000 to 4,500 meter. 3,000 to 4,500 meter. Next point. Some peaks. Some peaks in this range are more than 5,000 meter. Some peaks in this range are more than 5,000 meter high. 5,000 meter high. Next point. These are the part of these are the part of Himalayan mountain system. These are the part of Himalayan mountain system having their general alignment. General alignment from the north to general alignment from the north to south direction. From the north to south डायरेक्शन. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट लिखेंगे. इन द नॉर्थ दे आर नोन एज, basically not in the north, you can write it in the northeast. In the northeast they are known as Patkai Bum, Patkibum. Patkai Bum, comma Naga Hills, comma Manipur Hills. I have to show you the map also which I have got. I just wanted to import it from here. Just keep on writing. In the north they are known as Patkai Bum, comma Naga Hills, comma Manipur Hills, and Mizo or Lushai Hills, full stop. These are low hills inhabited. These are low hills inhabited by numerous tribal groups. These are low hills inhabited by numerous tribal groups. Next point. Write down about the Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. Shivaliks and outer Himalayas. Shivaliks and outer Himalayas. These are the newly formed ranges. These are the newly formed ranges in the Himalayan system. In the Himalayan system. They are made up from the sedimentary rocks. They are made up from the sedimentary rocks. And the height, the average height of this range is 900 to 1100 meter. 900 to 1100 meter. Just revise, I am just uploading the PPT here for the explanation. Just wait. PPT. Send it to your mail ID. We'll have a look at the maps now. From that, one more thing, if you're not understanding anything, just let me know. This is, I hope you know how to use this chat box and the, can you unmute yourself and say something? Fasina, right? Fasina is the right name, right? Okay, so we're moving towards this. So can you see the map here? I think this is a better presentation. I mean, we have been drawing it, but now this gives a clear picture. Now, this is what I was talking about. This is the orange, yellow, and red. The orange, yellow, and red is what your, this is your Karakoram. This is what I was talking about, Karakoram, Ladakh, and Jhanskar. And then comes your Great Himalayas after this. Can you see here how it has been extended from here, which is your Pamir Knot, and from here it is going to Kailash range. It is one of the longest range that we can see. If we come to the middle Himalayas, then middle Himalayas are divided into three parts. The first one is your Pir Panjal. This is what you do in your GS, right? It's okay if you have not done, then you can do it here. It is divided like that. See, all the ranges are not as continuous as the Great Himalayas. Can you see how the trail is? It is quite continuous. But if you see the second part, the middle Himalayas, this is having a ranges. One is your Pir Panjal, then other one is your Dhauladhar, then your Nag Tibba and Mahabharata range. And after that, you will have your outer Himalayas. Okay, just have a look at the maps. How many of you can actually understand the map after the explanation? Please raise the hands in the comment section, or you can use that. The raising hand. Okay, Fasina is raising. Kanishka is fine. Okay, everyone done. Good. This is again the better representation of the same, but the way they have drawn is wrong because they have taken the Great Himalayas to a higher level. Okay. Now, some of the points which you can add from here is this. Inner Himalayas. Now, inner Himalayas, we call it as central Himalayas also. Himadri, we have already discussed about this. Nothing new to be added. If any new point is there in this slide, then please add it in your notes. Great Himalayan folds as asymmetrical in form. Next, granites make up the core of this Himalayan region. They are majorly made up of what? Granite. And you know granite is what? It is a metamorphic rock. and that's why I've been repeating it all the time that Himalayas are made up of, the Great Himalayas are made up of metamorphic rocks. Next is their average elevation is 6,100 meter, already discussed. Next point, it's majorly made up of core crystalline granites and gneiss with the metamorphosed sediments on top. If this language is difficult, then forget about it. You don't have to write it. Just write a simpler language like this: granite and gneiss. Write a simple language like this. You don't have to use the heavy words. Next is the folds of this range are asymmetrical, having a steep south slope and a mild north slope, resulting in a topography called hogback. This point you can definitely add. Write down in the Great Himalayas. Please do the addition. Please do the addition in the Great Himalayas. जहाँ पे आपने notes लिखे हैं वहीं पे आप add कर लीजिए. I think you must be having enough space there. Or yeah, you can write it in a very small font size. Write down the folds of this range are asymmetrical. The folds of this range are asymmetrical, having steep south slope, and a mild north slope, resulting in topography known as hogback. Next point is at the syntaxial bends. We have discussed about the two syntaxial bends, that one is having at the Nanga Parvat, the other one we are having near Arunachal Pradesh. Where in Arunachal Pradesh? Exactly in Namcha Barwa. So it abruptly terminates one of the northwest Nanga Parvat, while the other is the northeast Namcha. One mountain which I am talking about in Nanga Parvat, the other one I am talking about is Namcha Parva. Namcha Barwa is in Arunachal Pradesh. This mountain range has the world's highest peak, most of which are covered with snow. We have already discussed this. Nothing new to be added in the notes. Everyone clear? Do you have to write anything from this slide? Anything from this slide? Okay. Now next one is Lesser Himalayas. Again the same thing, Lower Himalayas, we have done this. Their mean elevation is 3000. This is wrong. Actually this is 4500 meter. And their average width is about 60 to 80 kilometer. Prominent ranges, you can write this part that we have not written in the Lesser Himalayas. Write down the prominent ranges. Prominent ranges का क्या मतलब है? You don't have to confuse. जैसे ये एक range है. Now इसको सिर्फ एक name नहीं देकर we have given a different name. For example, this is just continuous. बीच में gap है. So what we'll call it as, this is your Pir Panjal. Then दूसरा range you have is your Dhauladhar. Then you have Nag Tibba. And then Mahabharata. This is how they have been divided. And same thing I have written here, Nag Tibba, prominent ranges comprising, if somebody cannot see the slide font size, so I am repeating for them, please jot it down in the notes where you have written Lesser Himalayas notes. Write down the prominent ranges comprising of the subdivision of Himalayas. They are comprising of the subdivision of Himalayas, Nag Tibba, Mahabharat range, Dhauladhar, Pir Panjal, Dhauladhar, Pir Panjal, and Mussoorie Range, and Mussoorie Range. Write down. You don't have to write this point, it's okay. Now Shivalik के बारे में थोड़ा और add कर लीजिए, because we have added few points only in Shivaliks. Write down the first point. Shivaliks span a distance of 2,400 kilometer from Potwar Plateau to the Brahmaputra Valley. It's in Pakistan. Okay. So spanning a distance of 2,400 kilometer from Potwar Plateau to Brahmaputra Valley. To Brahmaputra Valley. Write down next. Southernmost Himalayan range. This is, you know already, this is the extension of what I said earlier. This is very important. Write down. Shivaliks are known for. Shivaliks are known for dunes and duars. Shivaliks are known for dunes and duars. DOONS, dunes and duars. Dunes and duars. Next is created by rivers depositing fertile alluvial soil. How the Shivaliks are formed, I'll discuss that also after this discussion. Okay. Created by rivers depositing fertile alluvial soils after cutting through Shivaliks. After cutting through Shivaliks. Right. See how they have been formed, please understand. This is your river, right? These are the rivers which are coming from this area. Now, these rivers are bringing lot of sediments along with them. And when they are bringing lot of sediments, the sediments they deposit here. All the sediment silts they deposit at this point, at this part. Silt and sediments. And who are bringing all of that? The river. And why the rivers are able to bring that? Because the flow of the rivers, the speed of the rivers is very, very high. First reason is that these rivers are very youthful in nature. They are youthful in nature and they are coming from the height. So they are bringing lot of silt sediments along with them, and the bigger blocks they stay here, right? And when they seep through this passage, they are able to build the sediments here, and that's why the Shivaliks are more fertile in nature as compared to the upper parts of the Himalayas. अगर आप upper parts of Himalayas की बात करेंगे, तो Shivaliks are more fertile in nature, right? So this is how your Shivaliks have been formed. Now the second point I want to discuss with you is about the dunes. What are dunes? Have you seen the valleys which are formed? So these valleys are known as your dunes. Now dunes are the characteristics which are formed between your middle Himalayas and Shivaliks. So dunes will always be formed between them. Your Potli Dune, your Dhera Dune, all are the features of Shivaliks. They are formed between middle Himalayas and Shivaliks. But if I talk about Karevas, which you have not done today, but I'm just telling you extra point. Karevas are the characteristics of greater Himalayas and middle Himalayas. Karevas are what? Where you see the highland is there, right? And where you grow, they are very famous for saffron. Kashmir, right? They are very famous for saffron, or you can also call it as saffron. Anyone you can use. This is what in Hindi you call it as kesar. Okay. Online students, all of you, I'm giving you a moment. Please let me know if you have any doubt in this. Look at the map and let me know. So this is your Kareva Basin, which I was talking about. This is your Kareva Basin, which is between your Great Himalayan Range. Can you see the Great Himalayan Range here? This is your Great Himalayan Range, and here is you have your middle Himalayas. This is your middle, and this is your Great, and there you are having your Kareva Basin. यहीं पर आपका होता है क्या? ये here your saffron etc. These are grown. Okay. So we have discussed about the Karakoram ranges also. I wanted to discuss more about the Karakoram range. See, Karakoram range has lot of, see, they have the Karakoram Pass also here. Okay. And if you see the recent Galwan Valley issue, which has happened in 2020 also, and after that also, we are having a conflict with China from this region only. This is Aksai Chin. Can you see? If somebody cannot spot this, this is Aksai Chin. And this is a part of the India only, but Chinese claim it as their own. Apart from that, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This is the Pak-occupied Kashmir. So this is your, in the northwest, you're having a Pak-occupied Kashmir. This is your Aksai Chin. This is the conflict between China and India. So in Karakoram ranges, not only from the perspective of geographical space, but from the uh, for the boundary also that we are sharing with China, this range is very, very important for us. So it is very important for the people to study. I mean, I'm talking about the advisors, I'm talking about the important people who are involved in the security purposes to study this area very, very closely. Why? Because this region has become now important from the perspective of that security purpose, first of all, because the transgression of China keep on happening from this region. They are transgressing, that is the right word, transgression of the China is there in our territory from this region. Apart from that, there is a Siachen. How many of you can spot here? There is a Siachen glacier present, and Siachen glacier which is present here, we have deployed our security forces here. They are working tirelessly 24/7 under the temperature of which is goes almost minus 40 degrees Celsius, and it's very, very difficult to I mean sustain here, but still via different equipments. For example, they have been able to protect themselves through the insulent equipments, insulent wardrobes. They have been able to save themselves, so they are standing here, right? So this is all about the Karakoram. If you have to add anything from here, you can add. The first point is Karakoram range, the northmost trans-Himalayan range in the India, forming a natural boundary with Afghanistan and China. This is what I was telling, and therefore China is taking a advantage of this. They are transgressing in a boundary. It spans 110 and to 130 kilometer. It's not important. Next is your K2 Godwin Austen. We have already discussed this. Right. You can write the major glaciers that you have not added. Write down the Siachen Glacier, which is important in this Karakoram range. May please add Siachen Glacier. Siachen Glacier, major glaciers include Siachen Glaciers. Siachen Glaciers and Remo Glacier. These are the two important glaciers in the Karakoram range, Siachen and Remo. Okay, now this Ladakh range is another one. I think we have discussed almost all the points of Ladakh range. This is the extra points not needed to be added. Okay, in Chaskar range, have we written about Chaskar range? How much we have written? कितना लिखा है? What points we have added in that? Takabushi. Okay, not much you have to write from this only. This also, if you have space left, then what you can write, I'll just let you know. Just understand, Janskar Range is situated in the Ladakh region of the northern India. The range stretches 400 kilometer, right? This is not needed to be added. Next is average height not needed. Highest peak in this is, right, write down this point. The highest peak in the Janskar Range is Kamet. The highest peak in the Chaskar range is Kamet, Kamet, which is 7,756 meters. 7,756 meters. Okay, so I discussed about dooms and dwars with you. So what are dwars basically? See, dune you use in the northern Himalayas. For example, you use in Uttarakhand, you use the word dune. And dwars form the foothills through the floodplain of the eastern Himalayas. So almost they are same only, but and both are fertile. Dunes are also fertile, dwars are also fertile. Dwars form the foothill through the floodplains of eastern Himalaya that stretches from Nepal through the plains of Darjeeling. It's very famous for the tea cultivation, Jala Paiguri and Alipurdwar district, etc. These are basically the area which is covering West Bengal and the regions of Bhutan. In literal mean of Dwar is door. Okay, so they are almost the same. Dwar you call it in eastern side of the India, and you call dunes in the Uttarakhand, and you call them. They are found between your lesser Himalayas and your your outer Himalayas. Okay. Now shall we move? If somebody wants to have a look at the PPT, just let me know. I can just go back and show it to you. Done? Okay. Now write down about Peninsular Plateau. Write down about Peninsular Plateau. Just write down the heading first. We'll look at the map. Okay. So if we see the Peninsular Plateau, this is your Peninsular Plateau. Basically, we divide the Peninsular Plateau in the two parts. The one is your Central Highland, and the other one is your Deccan Plateau. This is your Central Highland, this part is your Central Highland, and this part is your Deccan Plateau. And together they are known as Peninsular Plateau. Right? This is one thing that you should know. A lot of students, even after doing a lot of duration of course, they still have this issue that where they are not able to understand the difference between Peninsular Plateau, Deccan Plateau, and Central. Simple thing first, what is the Peninsular Plateau? Peninsular Plateau is this one, right? I told you in the initial class also, yesterday also, when it is tapering after 22.5 degree, right? At the 22.5 degree, it start tapering like this. Tapering means it's going narrower, right? And it's going narrower, that means it will go towards the Indian Ocean. It's going very very narrow, deep, and यहाँ से आपका क्या start हो जाएगा? You start Peninsular Plateau. Now Peninsular Plateau is divided into two parts. The upper part is known as Central Highlands, the lower part is known as Deccan Plateau. Have a look at it, and after I'll explain how the Central Highlands are divided and how the Deccan Plateaus are divided. If you want to draw it for your reference, you can also draw it. क्लब करके आप प्लीज लिख सकते हो उसको, peninsular plateau. Today only in one of my class where I was taking another lecture where I have not taught geography, they were asking, ma'am, what is peninsular plateau, what is this? So see, confusion you will be having this confusion because kya hota hai, Central Highlands is also divided into many parts, and when Central Highlands is divided into many parts and Deccan Plateau is divided, then if you not revise the things, definitely you will have the problem with this. ठीक है, तो इसको यहीं पे ही आप क्लियर कर लीजिए कि what is the difference. None. See, this is how your Central Highland has been divided. Can you see? What you could see in one form, I have now divided into multiple forms. What is that? The one is your Malwa Plateau. This is your Malwa Plateau, the first one. The second one is your Bundelkhand Plateau. The third is your Bagalkhand Plateau. Fourth is your Chota Nagpur Plateau. And fifth is your Shillong Plateau. The Shillong Plateau, which is in the northeast Himalayas, they are sometimes taken as the part of the Himalayas, but they are not the part of the Himalayas, they are the part of the Peninsular Plateau, and they are divided through what? Malda Gap. There is a gap here which you call it as Malda Gap, Maldagap, Malda Gap present here, and therefore they are divided through the Peninsular Plateau. Again, I am repeating, this is a Malwa Plateau, this is Bundelkhand, this is Baghelkhand, this is Chota Nagpur, this is Shillong Plateau. Now your Deccan Plateau has been divided into, this is your Maharashtra Plateau, right? Maharashtrian Plateau, they have not written it. Then your Karnataka Plateau, or you call it as Deccan Plateau. This is your Telangana Plateau, and this is your Dandakarnia Plateau. This is the Odisha, basically. Draw this. Take your time and draw this. Drawing is more important than writing. I'm giving 5 minutes to you. Please draw it. Take your time. All students drawn? Online students, please update. Ma'am, please, acha, 2 minutes. ठीक है. Take your time. Everyone has to draw this. Ishan, Stapna, Tanishka, Suraj, Farsana. Take your time. By the time I'll just see your answer. Okay, done. Everyone? Okay. Now, moving forward, I think you must have had a look at this map. Okay. So now it's a time that we should discuss about peninsula. Write down one by one about peninsula plateau and then we'll discuss about its ranges. Write down. The formation of peninsular plateau can be traced to the formation of peninsular plateau can be traced to Paleozoic, 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 Paleozoic era, Paleozoic era. Full stop. It was formed. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of Gondwana land. It was formed due to the breaking and drifting of Gondwana land. And we have discussed the Gondwana land yesterday very, very clearly. Okay. Next, write down. It is a old landmass. It is a old landmass, and hence it is tectonically stable. It is tectonically stable. Next, write down about central highlands. Write down about central highlands. In the central highlands, write down first point, the portion of peninsula which is located, the portion of peninsula plateau which is located to the north of Narmada river, the portion of peninsula plateau which is located to the north of Narmada river covers a huge part of Malwa plateau. It covers the huge part of Malwa plateau is known as Central Highland. It is known as Central Highland. Simple words में मतलब ये है that the Central Highland के अंदर जो मालवा plateau है that is making a bigger chunk. That's it. That is the only meaning. इसको आप simple language में भी लिख सकते हैं. That I'll make you write right now. That means a major portion of the Central Highland. That means the major portion. That means the major portion of the Central Highlands is known as Central Highlands is known as Malwa Plateau. It is known as Malwa Plateau. Major portion of the Central Highland is known as the Malwa Plateau. Next point. A major portion of the Central Highland is known as the Malwa Plateau. Next point. This plateau region is surrounded by Mahadeo ranges in the east. Mahadeo ranges in the east. Aravali range in the west. Aravali range in the west. Next, or you can write specifically in the northwest. Vindhyan range. Vindhyan range Vindhyan range at the center. Vindhyan range at the center. They are at the center. I'll show you the map. Just write down the data right now. I'll show through the map also. A major portion of the central highland is known as Malwa. The plateau is surrounded by Mahadeo range in the east, Aravallis in the northwest, and Vindhyan at the center. Now, what is I want to tell you with this thing is, see, this is your clear नहीं होगा शायद यहाँ पे देखिए ठीक है see your Deccan Plateau and your Central Highland is divided like that. Your Central Plateau and your Deccan Plateau is divided with a river, what we call it as Narmada. What is the second point? Since you can see the size of the Malwa Plateau, can you see the geographical space of the Malwa Plateau, which is much, much bigger than the other plateaus which are present in the same portion? That means the major chunk which is formed is of Malwa. Next point. Then this plateau, the Central Highland Plateau, is surrounded by this Mahadeo range in the east, your Aravallis range in the west, and at the center of it here you are having what? Your Vindhyan range. यहाँ पे आपका Vindhyan range. ठीक है? I'll show you the ranges also now. Can you see the range here? So basically you could have written center means your north. आप यहाँ पे north भी लिख सकते थे. This is your Aravallis and here it's your Mahadeo ये रहा आपका. And in the east you have Mahadeo, and the northwest you have Aravallis. If this is your Mahadeo, then this is your Aravallis. This is your Mahadeo and this is your Vindhya. आप नॉर्थ में लिख सकते हो, विंध्या को ब्रैकेट में नॉट कर दीजिए. Done. Now write down next. The rivers that flow in this regions, the rivers that flows in this region are Chambal. The rivers that flow in this region are Chambal, Sindh, Chambal, Sindh, Sind, Sindh, Betwa, Betwa, and Ken. Betwa, Ken, Ken. Full stop. Next point. The eastward extension is locally known as Bundelkhand or Bagalkhand. You can see the spelling from the board. The eastward extension is locally known as Bundelkhand or Bagalkhand. Full stop. The eastern of the Central Highland is drained by rivers like Damodar and Subarnika. Damodar and Subarnika. Spelling is Subar N-A and then Rekha, Subarnika. Rivers, which is also known as, यहाँ पर आपकी rivers है, right? It is drained by which rivers? Damodar and Subarnika. कहाँ पे, कौन से area में we are talking about? In the Chota Nagpur Plateau, which is also known as Chota Nagpur Plateau. Next point. Shillong Plateau is also the part of Shillong Plateau is also the part of Peninsula Plateau, which is divided through which is divided through the Malda Gap, Malda, Malda Gap. It is divided through or separated through the Malda Gap. Next, write down Dandakarinya region. I have not explained you Deccan Plateau. Wait. First, write down about Deccan, and then in that only will add the Dandakarinya. Wait. Write down Deccan Plateau. First point. It is bordered by Western Ghats in the west, comma, Eastern Ghats in the east. This is your Western Ghats. So it is bordered by Western Ghats in the west. This is your Western Ghats. This is your Eastern Ghats. It is surrounded by or bordered by Western Ghats in the west and Eastern Ghats in the east, and Satpura, Maikal range, and Satpura, Maikal range, and Mahadeo range in the north. यहाँ पे आपका सतपुरा रेंज है. Here is your Maikal range. Here is your Mahadeo range, and here is your Maikal range. I'll show you in the map. ये देखिए, इसके जो नीचे वाला एरिया है आपका, can you see this Satpura? This is your Satpura range. अब इसके नीचे वाला जो एरिया है आपका, this is your Deccan Plateau. तभी इन्होंने क्या बोला? It is surrounded by Satpura range in the north, Mahadeo range again in the north, and this is your Maikal range, basically your Chhattisgarh, your Amarkantak Plateau, right? So you can write down here and understand it is bordered by Western Ghats. You can understand Eastern Ghats, you can understand easily. Satpura, Maikal, Mahadeo in the north. जब Satpura आ गया, Mahadeo आ गया north, Maikal आ गया in the north, and after that you are having your Deccan Plateau. Next point. How many of you can actually get this point? Online students, कितने लोगों को ये बात समझ में आया है रेंजेस वाला? क्लियर तनिष्का, एवरीवन? ठीक है. ईशान? Okay then. Next point, write down. Anaimudi. Anaimudi is the highest peak of Peninsular Plateau. Anaimudi is the highest peak of Peninsular Plateau, which is located on the Annamalai Hills. It is located on the Annamalai Hills. See, here you are having the highest peak. Can you see this area? I can show you through white color. So this is your अन्नामलाई हिल्स. ये जो आपका अन्नामलाई हिल्स है, इसके ऊपर आपकी पीक है, which you call it as Anaimudi. This Anaimudi is your 2695 meter, right? And Annamalai hills are in Kerala. ठीक है? Cardamom hills, Annamalai hills, ये सारे आपके केरला में हैं. Annamalai hills of the Western Ghats. Done. Full stop. It is followed by Doda Beta, Dodda, Dodda Beta. Can you see the Doda Beta also here? यहाँ पे नहीं दिख रहा है. Doda Beta is the highest peak of your, huh? In which hills? Doda Beta is the second highest. Write down. Doda Beta is it is followed by Doda Beta on the Nilgiri hills. On the Nilgiri hills. Yes, it's in Karnataka. Please do not get confused. See, this is your Nilgiri. How many hills I'm talking about? I'm just talked about 2 hills. First of all, this is Nilgiri, which is in your, actually Nilgiri hills are, uh, yes, they are being shared by the Karnataka, Kerala, right? So this is your Doda Beta is the highest peak of Nilgiri hills. And next is your, after that you have Annamalai. Annamalai ka highest peak is Anaimudi, and Anaimudi is highest among all the hills that the Western Ghat is having. It is highest. After that you have Doda Beta. They are famous for the coffee plantation, etc. Okay. Next, write down the major parts of the Madhya Pradesh. Next, write down the major parts of the Madhya Pradesh, comma, Maharashtra, comma, Western Andhra Pradesh, along with parts of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu comes under the Deccan Plateau. They come under the Deccan Plateau. They come under the Deccan Plateau. Next point. Dharwar Plateau, which is located in Karnataka. Dharwar Plateau, Dharwar, Dharwar Plateau, which is located in Karnataka, is made up of metamorphic rocks. Is made up of metamorphic rocks. Full stop. Baba Budan Hills. Baba Budan Hills and Brahmagiri Hills are located to the west. Here it's your Baba Budan Hill. Can you see just before, just above your Nilgiri Hills, you have a Baba Budan Hills. Here. This is also famous for your coffee plantation. It is in Karnataka. Right. Your Darbar is located in Karnataka, which is made up of metamorphic rocks, full stop. Baba Budan Hills and Brahmagiri Hills are located to the west. Are located to the west. That's all for today. We are not going to do much after this because a lot of information has been given already. Now, the time for discussion of the questions. अब आप एक क्वेश्चन लिखिए with respect to Trans-Himalayas. Write down. Highlight the Trans-Himalayan region. Highlight the Trans-Himalayan region. With respect to its resources. With respect to its resources. And how this region has lately turned into one of the most strategic location for India. Discuss. Second point, write down. Second question, write down. Highlight the ranges of Himalayas. Highlight the ranges of Himalayas, and explain about its economic significance. That's it. Next, write down. Next question. Explain how Himalayas are structurally different from peninsular plateau. True example. Next assignment question, fourth. Three are enough. Huh? Here enough, or you want to write fourth also? हाँ पता नहीं आप लोग कंप्लीट कर पाओगे नहीं कर पाओगे. That's what, because there's so much to write, because I wanted to give this areas have become, because they started asking small questions. That has become now a problem, because आपने देखा इस बार का पैटर्न, जो पेपर 2 में भी पहले भी पूछते थे, लेकिन अब ये छोटे-छोटे क्वेश्चन जो पूछते हैं. आई थिंक धरवार पे भी एक क्वेश्चन था इस बार, कार्यवर्ष पे भी था, ठीक है ना, कार्यवर्ष पे भी था. राइट डाउन, हाँ लिख लो कार्यवर्ष पे भी. How and why Karivas are important? Explain with its economic significance. I think I've given a description of Karivas also here. In the starting. This is the one. Anybody who wants to just have a look at it, because I have given a question on that, so you can write down if you want to write. So in Kashmir dialect, the term Kariva means elevated tableland. इसका मतलब क्या होता है करीवा का? It means you can start the answer also like that. There is no problem in repetition if you just take down the notes and you will replicate it. Ultimately तो main आपका task है optional में लिखना अच्छा, ठीक है? So you can write it from here. The term Kariva means elevated tableland. And this is also the one of the feature that Karivas are formed between Greater Himalayas and Middle Himalayas and Middle Himalayas. Next is they are plateau-like formation. Second point, Vidur. This is a common name. The local people call it with the name of Vidur also, is the local name for Kareva in the Kashmiri dialect. Karevas are, now you can write actual definition from here. Karevas are the thick deposits of glacial clay and other materials embedded in moraines. क्या मतलब है इसका? That your soil and glacier, they are mixed together. That is what they are actually trying to tell through this. They are unconsolidated lacustrine deposit. Lacustrine से मतलब है आपका lake. Lacustrine means associated with lakes. They are unconsolidated lacustrine deposits, जो आपका soil deposit हो जाता है and then they become fertile. क्योंकि glacial deposits है, it becomes really fertile. So this is what you have to write. Next is they are found in the Kashmir Valley, particularly in Pir Panjal. They are found in Pir Panjal. These deposits are not only fertile but also contain fossils. If you want to write, that's fine. ये आप miss भी कर सकते हैं. During the Pleistocene period, uplift of Pir Panjal ranges blocked the river flow and turned the Kashmir Valley into large lakes. over the time glacial deposits accumulated in this lake forming a Kareva deposit. This is how the Kareva has been formed. क्या हुआ था प्लेस्टोसीन पीरियड के अंदर जब आपका अपलिफ्ट हुआ था क्या अपर पीर दिस या पीर पंजाल रेंज, तो रिवर का जो फ्लो था वो ब्लॉक हो गया था. ऑब्वियसली कोई अगर चीज आ जाएगी रिवर की फ्लो के सामने तो रिवर का पैसेज ब्लॉक हो जाएगा. तो टर्निंग द कश्मीर वैली इनटू लार्ज, अब ये रिवर्स जो बने दे टर्न इनटू लार्ज रिवर लेक फॉर्म. रिवर्स का जो फ्लो आपने ब्रेक करा उसकी वजह से क्या हुआ, लेक्स बन गए बहुत बड़े बड़े. एंड ओवर द टाइम जब ग्लेशियल डिपॉजिट्स एक्यूमुलेट हुए यहाँ पे दे फॉर्म द करेवा बिकॉज सॉइल्स भी इनके अंदर इन्वॉल्व था. एंड देन this is what they have formed. So this is what your Kareva, they are known for the cultivation and economic purpose में आप क्या लिख सकते हो, that is they are used for the saffrons. Saffrons की cultivation के लिए they are used highly in that area. Okay. Okay. Now this is what you can write. Take a moment and write down if you want to write. That's all for today. अच्छा आपका ये व्हाट यू आई वांटेड टू टेल यू फ्रॉम हियर दैट आप जो इंट्रो स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं ना उसमें आप यू सी योर व्हाट यू रिटन इज इंडिया इज सराउंडेड बाय इंडियन ओशन फ्रॉम थ्री साइड्स which is fine, but this is giving a very normal explanation. I want you to write much more than that. For example, you could have written, you could have added a scholar or you can quote from the famous author who is trying to point out how strategically important that area is. You would have quoted from there and then mentioning the coastline, it's fine, you have given the data. Or you could have even given this way also. For example, आप ये बता सकते थे that Indian Ocean is surrounded है but किस तरह से strategic location उसका importance बढ़ता जा रहा है. जैसे आपका UN यूनाइटेड नेशंस हैज सेड लॉट मेनी टाइम्स, यूएनएससी ने बहुत बार कोट किया है इस बेसिस पे. आई कैन गिव यू द डेटा इफ यू वांट, बट अगर वो स्टार्ट होगा तो ज्यादा बेटर होगा. शशि थरूर हैज आल्सो कोटेड. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट देयर इज फेमस रजनी कोठारी, they have also quoted lot of times that how strategically this location is important for India and not only for India, for the other nations also. उसके बाद implications में जो आपने सब पॉइंट्स लिखे हैं दैट्स फाइन. अच्छा इसको इस तरह से मत लिखिए आप, इंपॉर्टेंट सी लाइन ऑफ कम्युनिकेशन. कम्युनिकेशन को आप एक साथ लिखिए, अदरवाइज आई कैन टू रीड बिकॉज आई हैव टाइम बिकॉज दे हैव टू चेक लॉट ऑफ कॉपीज सो दैट दे गेट इरिटेटेड. अब जो भी आप डेटा लिख रहे हैं अंडरलाइन इट. जैसे 25% ऑफ द ग्लोबल ट्रेड, क्विकली अंडरलाइन इट. दिस गिव्स अ सडन आपको एक क्या मिलेगा, एक हाईलाइट उनको पढ़ते पढ़ते मिलेगा कि ठीक है डेटा ऐड हुआ है एंड देन दे विल करेक्ट इट. Now, I think a lot of examples are missing from the current affairs. As I told you, the Great Nicobar project that could have also been added because there are two purposes of the Great Nicobar project. One is your seamless trade, which will be happening because you can't, you're no longer will be dependent on the Sri Lanka, etc. for your for loading of your goods. Next is add in order to check the activity of China. For that also, this Great Nicobar project is important. Geopolitics में that's fine, you have added China's aggressive policies, debt trap, string of pearls, BRI initiative of China. ये छोटे छोटे points आप add कर सकते हैं. With two of the major islands, ठीक है. This is a repetition. India has extended EEZ. You have also added it previously also. Here you have added EEZ. Do not repeat the points. Next, disaster management India, this is absolutely fine. हाँ, what I found is आपका जो conclusion है वो बहुत better हो सकता है. अब if I read your conclusion, as India's growth is necessary for the overall regional development with coming challenges of climate change, geopolitical tension and economic protectionism, India's location is intricate with regional peace and prosperity. आपको सही लग रहा है? मैंने इसलिए पढ़ा है, ठीक है. सो बेसिकली आपको लिखना कैसे है, यू विल शो द चैलेंजेस हियर. एक लाइन में आप चैलेंजेस दिखाइए. डिस्पाइट हैविंग लॉट ऑफ चैलेंजेस, डिस्पाइट हैविंग इंडिया इज फेसिंग दिस प्रॉब्लम, या फिर कोई मेंशन कर दीजिए. आई विल गिव यू द कंक्लूजन इफ यू वांट टुमारो. हम सबसे पहले आप मुझे प्लीज रिमाइंड मी दिस ओनली दैट आई विल हैव टू शेयर द हाउ यू हैव टू राइट. आई विल गिव द टू कंक्लूजन्स टू यू, किस तरह से आप लिख सकते हैं. सो जब आप कंक्लूजन लिखेंगे तो पहले आप चैलेंजेस लिखेंगे उसके कि ठीक है ये चैलेंजेस विद रिस्पेक्ट टू दैट, या फिर चाइना का कोई आप इशू आप हाईलाइट कर दीजिए. उसके बाद यू विल ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड कि व्हाई एंड हाउ इंडिया शुड go for the perspective in this area. For example, you can show the futuristic approach that what India should do, not only for सिक्योरिटी पर्पस ऑल्सो, फॉर द इकोनॉमिक पर्पस ऑल्सो, बट इकोनॉमिक प्रोटेक्शनिज्म नहीं लिखना था यहाँ पे, ठीक है. What India needs to do in order to hold its dominance in this region. I have written this futuristic approach and why and what India needs to do in order to hold its dominance in the region. Now, the time is that India should show its dominance. अभी तक Indian Ocean पे India ने कोई dominance नहीं दिखाया है. But dominance not in sense कि आप literally area capture कर रहे हैं. The point is the way China is expanded and we are अभी क्या कर रहे हैं? We are in an approach that हम defensive approach में अभी. हम क्या कर रहे हैं? अपने आप को defense कर रहे हैं. अभी वी आर नॉट ऑफेंसिव, वी डू नॉट वांट टू बी ऑफेंसिव आल्सो. एक्सप्लिसिटली हम लोग नहीं ले रहे हैं वो एरिया, बट द पॉइंट इज हमें अपना डोमिनेंस दिखाना पड़ेगा. डोमिनेंस कैसे दिखेगा? वी डू हैव द अंडमान निकोबार, वी डू हैव लक्षद्वीप. बाय proliferating these areas, dominance will automatically will be evident in few years, where we will have the project where we the trade will dependency will be, yes, bilateral trades will be there. So that is what it can, this is how it can happen. And if possible आप map वैसे इसमें जरूरत तो नहीं था maps का, for examples. Are you reading current affairs these days? कहाँ से पढ़ रहे हैं? अच्छा, Indian Express से. And do you watch the this also, the analysis, weekly analysis तो देख रहे हैं? अच्छा, prep, okay, ठीक है, ठीक है. वीकली यू आर वॉचिंग एंड डेली यू आर रीडिंग द इंडियन एक्सप्रेस, ठीक है. हाँ, इम्प्रूवमेंट की जरूरत है, थोड़ा सा लेवल को लेकर जाना है हाई, बिकॉज यू हैव क्लियर द प्रीलिम्स एंड द हाई चांसेस ऑफ यू टू क्लियर. So I'll tell you कि in what way you can write the answers and I'll show you the conclusion intro कैसे लिखना है. You will see the improvement. Okay, good. Thank you so much, class. Tapna, yes, I have to share that. I'll share it with you. Okay, done. Thank you so much, class.